Hello, everyone. My name is Danila. You obviously know me, and I'd like to introduce to you a special person. I just met yesterday during my tournament, Glenn over here, who at his highest was 48 singles in the ATP rankings, and then he reached his career highest at 5 in doubles. Um, Glenn, thank you for letting me having a conversation with you in front of my camera. And because I published a book about mental toughness, I wanted to ask you, what from your experiences some of the things that gave you an advantage on other players on tour?
Um, I mean, it's almost like a cliche now, but it's the simplest way I can say it is the player that is best able to keep his focus on the task at hand and the process and block out thoughts about outcome has the edge. And it seems simple, it seems common sense, but it's probably one of the hardest things to do. And that's why majority of players are not as strong mentally as they should be because it's difficult. It's outcome, society, like, okay, we're at a tournament. You come off the court. What's the first thing your friends ask you? Did you win? What was the score? No one asked you, how was your game plan? How was your effort level? Um, that kind of stuff, which is the important that helps you win, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like no one asked that. They asked the outcome. Did you win? And then if whatever you tell them, well, I lost 3-3, and then they form their own they have in their mind, "Oh, so it was a bad day." They make all these assumptions, whereas you could have had the day of your what if you played the match of your life? You focused, hit you focus unbelievable, you concentrated well, and you lost 0-0 because you played Roger Federer, but you played that's a great day for you, yeah, but all they know is you lost 0-0, so it was a horrible day. So anyway, sorry, long answer to, the question, but yeah, the ability to focus on the process and stay in the moment. And again, those words have been said over and over again, but they've been said over and over again because they're that powerful and they're that true.
Yeah. That is great to know because even though me as a player, I never reached Glenn's heights, but just that knowledge also helped me whenever I play, like even in the match that just happened. So you saying that really reinforces what I'm telling people online and wrote in my book. So that validation means so much to me, and I'm so happy to hear you say that. You mentioned focus. What some advice do you have to tennis players, juniors, that helped you focus on the court? Like, I know you had a game plan so that you can follow your game plan, as you mentioned. But are there any particular things that helped you dial in?
Oh, the biggest one, and it's the only one actually, is visualization. Oh
Visualization.
my God.
Ah,
The yeah. What's visualization? So when I was concentrating properly on the tour, I honestly did not think about the outcome of even the next point. Never mind, am I going to win or lose this match? It was like for doubles, since that was my biggest success. So if I wasn't the one returning serve, I think what a lot of players that are like waiting for their partner, I don't know what's going through their mind, but what was going through my mind was I would talk to my partner and he would tell me what his plan was. Was he going to return down the line? Was he going to return cross court? Was he going to try a lob return? And as soon as I would either say yeah, or if I thought there was a better idea, I might say, anyway, we come up with a plan for what he's going to do off the return. And then as soon as we make that plan, then I go up to my position and I'm visualizing that thing unfolding. I'm visualizing his return. If you plan to go, I visualize his return going down the line, and I'm trying to visualize as many scenarios that might happen with that down the line return as possible. If he hits a good one, that means maybe the guy hits a defensive volley and I'm ready to attack the volley in the air. Or if it's a poor down the line, I'm visualizing myself getting ready to play a reflex volley. And one of the main goals of visualization is basically if you do it well, nothing surprises you. You haven't seen it in your head before it happens. And when you're able to do that, and I don't know how much your listeners are going to believe me, you can make time slow down for you. When you've already seen it in your head and you've rehearsed it, even though in real time, obviously it's happening at the same speed because your mind has already processed it, it feels like you have more time. The reverse is if you're not doing any visualization and all you're doing is looking at the input and reacting to it, then time speeds up and the ball looks like it's going like unbelievable and you have no time. If the ball's going the same speed, so it's whether you decided to have your mind prepared or whether you're just going to react, you can make time slow down or speed up. And obviously, as a tennis player, you'd rather have it slow down, right?
Absolutely.
So it's almost like a magic trick. Like you can make time slow down for you if you do this properly. Now, again, it sounds easy. Why doesn't everyone do it? Because it's difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, and I wonder if we can take a step deeper into it, and see if maybe triggering adrenaline response with your body helps you to do that too. And I noticed that whenever you feel pressured, like this panic feeling can accelerate things around you. So it is also keeping this calm mindset, like to like give you that edge, give you this effect of you what you're talking about of slowing things down. So that is just like gold, and I hope you guys are able to take that and really think about how you're going to implement that in your game. Wow. So all of that knowledge, like I had to really dig deep and learn about all of it. And through my experiences, unfortunately, like um I did not get exposed to that early in my juniors years. What about you? How did you end up learning all of that? Because none of that is obvious. None of that is readily available, especially whenever you reached like the top. You were like early 90s, right? So then like psychology, it wasn't as developed as it is today. So I'm just like thinking, if I overcame adversity and I've gotten on it as high as I could, you done the same thing and you reached even higher heights. Please share with me your experience.
Well, I'm laughing because I learned it because I didn't know it at the time. This is in the sound.
The
No, I just have to explain that statement. Ranking wise, result wise, prize money wise, the best year I had was the worst year I had mentally. So I'll explain that. So the year I reached my highest ranking, I got that ranking because me and my partner made so many finals of double. Like we were so consistent through the year. Like, there was a streak, I can't remember. I hope I'm not bragging, but there was maybe 5 or 6 weeks where we reached the finals of double tournament. But once we reached the finals, and I'm not trying to be humble, it was mostly my performance deteriorated.
okay.
So and I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but what happens in doubles, it still goes on, is during the course of the tournament, doubles is played usually on the side court. There's some people, there's a pro tournament, some people, but it's not like you're on center court and the TV's on. And then when it gets to sometimes in the semis, you might get lucky, get on center court, but definitely finals is going to be on because they need a match to fill in. So all of a sudden, we get thrust onto center court. And obviously, the finals, the championship trophy sitting there. Maybe if the car's the sponsors and car, the outcome is yelling, screaming to get your attention, and there's a big crowd. And no one taught me this. So I didn't have the tools to deal with that change in condition, basically. And so the day before in the semis, and again, I'm trying to be humble in the final. In the semis, I was good enough to make the finals. It was just pretty good. I played, so it wasn't like overnight, like all of a sudden I shrunk 10 inches and I lost 50 pounds. I'm the same person physically, but up here I wasn't. I
Yeah.
was super strong the night before. And just because my attention got shifted to the wrong things, I was a mental midget for six. And this is the real cool part of sports, male sports. You're in the line, you want to be you want to be respected by your peers and the lot. And so one of the finals, after about the fifth week in a row, we had just won our semifinal, a big turn. I think it was Cincinnati. They still have it, the Western Open, and the other semi still had to be played. And I was stretching the locker room, and you don't see the rows. And I heard the other team talking. They're talking about their match. Yeah, it's a tough match. He goes, yeah, but if we win, we play Michibata Connell in the finals, and Michibata chokes in the final. And it really hurt because, when things hurt, there's always a grain of truth. And there was not more than a grain of truth, but I was not playing well in finals. So they knew that if they could just win the semis, they would have a really good shot in the finals because I wasn't dealing. So I was focusing all on the outcome because, yeah, the big prize money checks staring you in the face, all that stuff. And I didn't have the mental tools to learn how to keep that aside as best possible and keep focusing on the task. Like I had done the 5 previous days during the tournament. Played great, team made the finals, and then I guess to my credit, the next week I shook it off and went back to normal, focused on it, and then but I didn't know it at the time. All I knew was that in finals I played poorly. So if I knew why it was happening, I would have done something. But like you said, even like I'm older than you, no one like the study of mental performance and no one had teams. We were on our own. We had to figure things out, right? And so it was only after that I realized what was happening when my playing career was done. And once I decided I got into coaching, because it was such a sensitive like issue for me, I was determined to do my best to make sure that my students didn't fall into the same trap.
Wow.
I'm trying to teach them that. Yeah.
That's incredible.